Sio Halito. Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. I'm excited because this is about honoring the Great Mother. All right. In indigenous tribes in the Americas and in Haiti, they honor the Great Mother. All right. So this is December 24th when they say the Virgin Mary is about to give birth to the Christ child. Now, this is a story that is a remix of a remix of a remix. I'm going to take you back to ancient times. All right. Even with the ancient mound builders, our ancient societies, they honored the Great Mother. So tonight is a celebration. Who's celebrating with me? We are celebrating the Great Matriarch, the Great Mother, the teacher of the tribes, the teacher of the nations, the healer of the nations. So we're going to give her her proper respect tonight. Every year, I try to do a video or a live about the Great Mother. All right. She goes by many names in ancient indigenous melanated tribes all over the earth. She goes by many names. We have, of course, Zocato. This is why I have the Cato Hatacho in the background. Their houses, how they're built. You probably can't really see it. And then we have Selu, the Great Corn Mother. We have the misnomer Black Madonna, the Venus of Willendorf. We have the Urzulis from Haiti. We have the Great Matriarch of Mesoamerica. We have Tonatzin, which is later called the Virgin of Guadalupe. And today, y'all see her as the Virgin Mary. Now, these are just some names. There are more names that the Great Matriarch goes by. But all in all, overstand, it's about giving the Great Mother her proper respect. Now, y'all can look at my Enigma Solver Chronicles. I have a playlist. If you're new to my channel, you're going to get a gumbo pot of Creole, Criollos, Indigenous, Melungeon, Mestizo. You're going to get a lot of the culture and spirituality and some her story, history. All right. Especially dealing with the Great Mother, the feminine energy. So, we have all of the Great Mothers, and all of them ain't even listed. We have so many great matriarchs. If you look at all the 7 continents. Happy holidays, nephew. Shout out to Wale Origins, Napitu. Peace. I'm just giving honor to the Great Mother, the Great Matriarch, the teacher of the tribes. All right, so we got the Urzulis from Haiti. We got Selu. We got the Black Madonna. We got Kotaku, and we got Tonatzin. These are representations of the great feminine energy, the mother energy that birthed forth the nations and is the teacher of the children and the tribes. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pull up a couple things. I appreciate y'all. Even if you're just stopping in to say hello, I appreciate you. Wado, Yakoki, Shona, Bitch Chi. To everybody that is stopping by and everybody that is gonna hang out. Appreciate y'all. So I'm about to pull up a couple of things to show the different aspects of the Great Mother, the Great Matriarchs. And later, if y'all want to support, I do have some merch that honors the Great Matriarchs. All right. This is my ancestors, my culture, my land, honor and respect. So the yellow is for the great woman society, for the beloved women, the warrior women, the war women. So this is a representation for the long hair clan, the great women society. So giving honor to that, but I did pattern this design after that. So may Unetla Nuhi and Ahoni approve this message. All right, so I will share the link later on how you can get some merch if you want to get some merch. All right, so I'm gonna pull up a couple of slides, a couple of pictures, and we're gonna speak on those. All right. Also, the poinsettia. If you have poinsettias in your house right now, around Xmas time, Christmas time, the holidays. I do the winter solstice. All right. If you have poinsettias do have a indigenous spiritual significance. So it represents the blood of the ancestors, the life force, regeneration, because winter is dealing with the cycle of death. So you have spring, summer, spring, summer, autumn, winter. So that's life, death, rebirth, or birth, life, death, rebirth, resurrection is the cycle of life. So the red poinsettia represents the blood, the life force of the ancestors, regeneration, that fiery spark in the womb that gives life. Also, it is similar to the evergreen tree because people have the little evergreen trees in your house that they call Christmas trees. Evergreen trees are full of life year round. So it represents life in the midst of this darkness of winter, because we just had the winter solstice, the longest night, where the nighttime hours are longer now versus the daytime hours. So I'm going to pull up a couple of things. Let me get the poinsettia and just show y'all about the poinsettia, because I have some on my porch to represent, to keep that life energy in the midst of this winter season. So if y'all have some poinsettias in your house or outside of your house, let me know in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Okay, so Kutu Chochito is the Nawal Aztec name for poinsettia, a native Mexican plant meaning the flower that withers, used for dyes and medicine. Okay, before its iconic association with Christmas. So this was, they used it for red and purple dyes and for ceremonial uses. All right. Its origin is in southern Mexico, the Central America, a part of the Americas, the flower that withers, but it is a representation of life. Anything that's red is usually a representation of blood or life, okay? the medicinal sap, they use that, and for ceremonial decoration. And then they later applied it to the blood of Christ, etc. But it's a representation of purity, blood, life force, etc. I just want to show y'all the plant of the hollow flame. All right. And during winter solstice season, you have the sacred fires that are lit because the sunlight hours are less than the nighttime hours. So the fire represents still that light. All right. It also means most beautiful. So while I get the next thing up, all right, we're going to go over the different mothers, the different matriarchs. I'm going to pull them up. And I hate that they don't have a lot of stuff about Zakato, which is of the Caddo-Haddocho tribe, in which my family has land on in Caddo territory. This land has been passed down through several generations, and there is even a cattle mound nearby my family's land. And this is in the state of Louisiana, northern Louisiana. So I'm gonna pull up, just showing how Zocato is the great mother, the teacher of the Caddo-Haddocho tribe. All right. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Thank you for your patience. I'm pulling this up. I hate that they don't really showcase her. They mention her, but they don't go in depth. Like Selu, they go in depth about Selu, and we will get into Selu in a second. But Caddo-Haddocho is the tribe. It means the real chiefs. Okay. Okay, so this is just an overview. So, Zocato is the great mother that taught the tribe and the children basically the skills of life, how to survive. The Caddo Maiden refers to the strong traditional roles of Caddo women who were central to the society as landowners, farmers, growing corn, maize, beans, squash, and skilled artisans with lineage traced through the mother. They lived in domed-shaped grass houses, which I had that in the background, the grass houses. They wore distinctive clothing and were known for their beautiful pottery. A key part of their culture was that continues today. They are a matrilineal society. Caddo society was organized around maternal lines with women owning homes and land, a unique system where men often lived with their mother-in-laws. They were agriculturalists. Women were primary farmers cultivating essential crops like corn, maize, beans, pumpkins, which sustained their large sedentary communities. Artisans and traders, meaning they traded and bartered. They bought things. They sold things and bought things. All right. Caddo women crafted pottery, baskets, and other goods for domestic use and trade, becoming renowned for their artistry. Daily life. They wore deerskin tops and skirts with long hair in braids or buns, often decorated, and practiced body art, tattoos. All right, they had tattoos. Spiritual significance. Caddo beliefs centered on the earth and the stars, so the earth and the cosmos, with women playing roles in ceremonies, and their distinctive pottery often buried with the deceased for their spiritual journey. Modern Caddo Nation. Descendants of the people form the Caddo Nation, headquartered. Most of them are in Texas now. There are some in Oklahoma. In essence, the Caddo Maiden embodies the strength, skill, and cultural importance of women within the historic and contemporary Caddo Nation, known for their deep connection to agriculture, artistry, and matrilineal heritage. All right, so that is the Caddo Hatacho. So this is the grass houses that they built. Now, connected to them are also the red bones. If you heard of the red bones, they are connected. They were in that area. Okay, so we covered the Caddo Hatacho. Now we're gonna cover Selu. Selu is the great core mother of the Jalagi Aniyamwaya spirituality of the Cherokee Nation, the great mother. Also, various tribes. They have different names for the great corn mother, the great corn maiden, etc. So this one is like a more melanated depiction of her. This is the Chata version of Selu, the great corn mother. All right, so growing the three sisters, which is corn, beans, and squash, or maize, beans, and squash. So let me pull this up. I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. I'm gonna be on here maybe for an hour. I ain't trying to go over an hour because I know people got shit to do. People got children, etc. People that celebrate the holidays. So happy holidays to everybody out there. Me personally, I do the winter solstice, and we have family dinner. My daughter and my niece, they are grown, so they really don't get gifts. They just want money. They just want money. So, all right. So, we're going to pull up Selu. Now, Selu is the great corn mother. All right. Here we go. This site got a lot of stuff to say. Let me pull this one. All right, I'm going to give y'all the overview, and then we can look at some different depictions of Selu, the great corn mother. And I highlight the mother because she gets lost in the celebration, even of the newborn religions, the Abrahamic religions. They focus on the father, the patriarchal energy, in which even in that aspect, the Virgin Mary and the Holy Spirit is the representation. The Holy Spirit is really the representation of the Great Mother. Previous to that whole Abrahamic story, you had the great matriarchs that I'm highlighting tonight. All right, so the Jalagi Aniyawaya Kitawagi, the Cherokee legend of Selu, the Corn Mother, tells of the first woman who emerged from the first cornstalk to bring sustenance and balance to her husband, Kanati. So this is a little bit of storytelling, just to give you, it's like storytelling, a parable, an allegorical story to break down how things flowed within the tribal nation. All right. Kanati, after her sons, in their ignorance, they discovered her secret of producing endless corn from her body. So the fruit of her womb, the mother, the feminine energy, the feminine has the womb, the portal to life that gives birth to children, to the nations. All right. So they discovered that she had this secret of producing endless corn from her body. In essence, they killed her. It's kind of like, a play on things like the patriarchy came and killed the matrilineal way of doing things. All right, that's another way of saying it. But this is a story. It has an allegorical meaning. All right, this is not literal. But her dying instructions to drag her body around created fields of corn. So with her womb or her seeds, they drug her body around so that corn could continuously sprout up and feed her people, making her a symbol of selfless sacrifice, the origin of agriculture, and the vital connection between women, the earth, and the life-giving three sisters, which is maize, corn, beans, and squash. The story of Selu is also creation and balance. Creation and balance, Selu meaning corn in Cherokee. I do have some books. They're like children's books where they have these stories, and they do have some colorful pictures, but I didn't find like a PDF to show the books. All right, The Secret. Selu. Creation and balance. Selu, meaning corn or maize in Cherokee, was created from corn to help Kanati, the first man, overcome loneliness and boredom, restoring harmony. The secret. Selu provided endless food by producing corn from her body. So this is also like a depiction of Mother Earth, all right, nature that provides things for us to survive, basically. There are medicinal things in nature, and there are some poisonous things in nature. You just got to choose wisely. All right. So Selu provided endless food by producing corn from her body, a mystery her young sons didn't understand. The discovery. Her sons, seeing her magical abundance, grew fearful and killed her. Kind of like how when patriarchy started taking over, they were scared of the power of the woman, in which the woman just wants things to be in balance, in order, right? Okay, so not all men were fearful, okay? You had some men that did respect, the balance, the order of balance, all right? So in a lot of stories in different spiritualities and cultures, they later start viewing wise women as witches in a derogatory term or instance, because she was wise. She knew the herbs and the roots. She knew how to heal She knew how to apply medicine. She knew how to teach her children the ways of life, how to survive. And when a woman was powerful and they didn't like it, they called her derogatory terms as witch, etc. All right. Women often were sacrificed in this aspect. The sacrifice. With her dying breath, Selu instructed her sons to drag her body around the ground, ensuring corn, maize would grow everywhere. The gift. From her buried essence, the first corn sprouted, or the first maize sprouted, and her grandchildren learned to plant and harvest, establishing agriculture and ensuring the people would always have food. Okay, so that's the gist of that story, basically. All right. So the cultural significance, mother of corn. Selu embodies the corn mother, a powerful deity of feminine, powerful energy, and the source of life for the Jalagi, Aniawaya, Cherokee people, highlighting maternal sacrifice and generosity. The Three Sisters. Her story links to the planting of maize, corn, beans, and squash, the Three Sisters, a sustainable agricultural method that provides complete nutrition. So your mothers or your first teachers, they feed you nutrients so that you can grow big and strong. They teach you lessons of life, etc. Wisdom and gratitude. The legend teaches that without gratitude and proper respect, reciprocity, the gift of corn, and the earth's bounty can end. All right. Reinforcing a spiritual connection to nature. Women's roles. The myth underscores the central role of women in farming, providing food, and maintaining the balance of life, even as it reflects pre-colonial gender roles and matrilineal structures. So they have a couple sites that do speak on the Great Corn Mother. That's the one. I think they had a long story. All right. Now this one is just saying the same thing. It's saying the same story that I just read. So they have the legend of the first woman in Kanati and Selu, the origin of corn and game. So I'm gonna pull that up later. Let's pull this up. All right, so let me just skim through this right quick. But this is basically, there are many great mothers throughout indigenous tribal nations everywhere. They do honor the mother, the feminine energy. She's nothing to fear in that aspect because she wants to make sure her family that they have everything they need. Now, if you get on her fucking bad side, that's a whole nother thing. So I'm giving y'all an overview. And speaking of, if you get on her bad side, let's transition to Haiti, the Urzulis, and then we'll go to the Black Madonna and Tonantzin. All right, let's go to the Urzulis of Haiti. All right, and this is her Veve. Y'all don't want to fuck with her. Don't get on the great mother, the great matriarchs, the feminine energies. Don't get on the bad side. Most, I can't speak for everyone, but I would say a lot of feminine energies They want what's best for their family. But if you try to abuse her or get on her fucking bad side, then that's a whole nother energy that you don't want to fuck with. Okay, so we're gonna get to the Urzulis real quick. We're gonna travel to Haiti. All right, so Louisiana and Haiti, the people have a great relationship. That's where that gumbo pot comes in. So we're gonna travel to Haiti and check out the Urzulis real quick. That's another powerful feminine energy, great mother energy. All right, we're gonna give y'all a little overview. All right, all right. So in Haitian voodoo, Urzuli or Izili is a powerful family of Loa spirits, goddesses, feminine energy, powerful feminine energy, embodying love, beauty, and motherhood, the great mother, the great matriarch, with key figures including the seductive Urzuli, Frida, which is luxury and beauty, and the fierce protector, Urzuli Danto. Dantor or Danto. All right, single mothers. She's the fierce protector of single mothers. She stands for justice, often linked to the Black Madonna, which we will get into after this. So we're touching on Urzuli, all right, in IET. These sisters, okay, so these are different aspects. It's kind of like the maiden, the mother, and the elder. All right. So the different aspects of the feminine, um, all right. These sisters represent different facets of womanhood, from romance and wealth, Frida to strength and protection, with Dantor or Danto forming a significant part of Haitian pantheon and serving as patronesses for women's empowerment and survival, particularly against violence. All right, you can't fuck with a mother's child or her people, because you're gonna see the war woman. On one side, she's the beloved woman, and on the other side, she is the warrior woman, the war woman. All right. So we have Urzuli Frida, represents refinement, beauty, romance, luxury, and maternal wealth, often associated with the Virgin Mary, or uh, you have also the Virgin of Guadalupe. And then you have derivatives. It depends on which continent you're on or which place you're at. All right. Okay, so romance, luxury, maternal wealth, often associated with the Virgin Mary in Catholic syncretism. So Abrahamic religions borrowed a lot of things from our ancestors. They also corrupted a lot of shit, just so y'all know. All right. So, and that's a whole nother spiel. Y'all can check out my Enigma Solver Chronicles. I have a playlist about where I go into different spiritualities and religions and break those down. All right, so we also have Urzuli Dantor or Danto, which is the fierce protective mother, a warrior, a warrioress, a patron of single mothers, and a symbol of female strength and independence. She carries knives and is linked to the Black Madonna and the Venus of Willendorf, and I'm not even going to butcher this word. All right. We're not even going to butcher that. All right. Then we have La Sarine, Urzuli Lasarine, the mermaid spirit, which is kind of similar to Yemeya. You also have you have Yemeya, Oya, Yansa, Oshun. Those are different aspects. They represent different types of water. So you got one that represents rivers, streams, and then like oceans, different bodies of waters. Okay, it's kind of like a depiction too with the womb, since the feminine carries the womb, the portal of life. When a child is in the womb, it's in that amniotic sac in the life-giving waters. So waters are another showcase of the feminine energy. So this is associated with the sea, wealth from the water, and childbirth. The roles, Urzuli, the Loa, governs love, art, passion, sensuality, and protection for women and children. So when you see the Urzuli that got that knife, she ready for your ass. If you mess with her children or her family, she coming for you. All right. So we have, all right, the roles. Urzuli is the Loa that governs love, art, passion, sensuality, and protection for women and children. With Dantor, Urzuli Dantor specifically invoked, she will handle business against abusive partners and for business acumen. All right. Symbolism. Common symbols include hearts that are often pierced, like don't fucking break her heart. Don't break her heart. Don't fuck with her children and her family. And this carries over into, feminine energy all over the world. Most mothers or feminine energies, they are protective over their children and their family. All right. So you have mirrors, perfumes, pink, red, and blue are colors that are symbolic, and imagery of the Black Madonna for Dantor. All right. They do show her honor and respect. They throw that word in worship. You don't got to be afraid of that word, but honor and respect to the matriarchs. We have celebrations often involve offerings of sweet things, perfumes, and ceremonies, such as a journey to Sadao waterfall. I did butcher that, even though I know some French and some Creole, but I did butcher that. Forgive me. But if you go to this waterfall, it honors Urzuli. All right. So this is one of her veves. If you draw this with the sacred cornmeal, or you draw this symbol, you can invoke her or call on her. It's kind of like you praying and saying all those Hail Marys, and you getting on your knees and praying and all that. This is another way of contacting the Great Mother. All right. So you have not only the God energy, but the goddess energy, not only the creator energy, but the creatress energy. So if you want to call on the Great Mother, the creatress energy, the protectress, the warrioress, you will draw her veve and petition her to come, or embody you, to give you the strength to basically fight for justice type of thing. I hate when these little things pop up. But this is her veve. This is her symbol. So if you want to call on a great powerful warrioress, Urzuli Dantor, she gonna handle business, especially if there is any abuse against children or women. This is the energy you want to call on. And so they do, this site basically says the same thing, which was broken down, that I just broke down. All right, so like I said, IET and Louisiana, Voodoo, which is just spirituality of the forces of nature. The Great Mother is also depicted not only of spiritual energy but earthly energy. That's why you also hear names of Mother Earth or things like herbs, roots, things of that nature that promote healing, medicine, which mothers are healers, nurturers, teachers, and protectors. All right. So this is just an overview of Erzuli, and I wanted y'all to see that. So we're going to go to the Black Madonna real quick. All right, this is a quick overview because I know everybody is celebrating, but I did want to come on here and give honor and respect to the great matriarch. So we're going to pull up some things about the Black Madonna, the misnomer Black Madonna. And then we're going to travel to Central and South America and deal with the Virgin Guadalupe, which before she was called the Virgin Guadalupe, Tonatzin. All right. So we're going to deal with the Black Madonna. And in the South, they do have some churches that are dedicated to the Black Madonna. They do honor the melanated feminine energy. All right. Let's pull this up. All right, so the Black Madonna, also Ethiopia. If you are a Christian, you might want to study Coptic Christians and the Ethiopians. They have an old Bible. Okay, you might want to check out those and then keep going back. Just keep going further back. Take your research to what predated that and what predated that and so on and so forth. But you will see the Black Madonna is honored in the Ethiopian Coptic Christian sense. They don't just focus on the Father. They do honor the Great Mother, the Great Madonna. All right. So this is also, they show that the Great Black Madonna is melanated. She has a dark skin. So does her son. There are some stories that have her with a son, her with fraternal twins. They call them different names in different tongues, but it still is a mother energy with a set of twins or a daughter or a son. Okay. So this is symbolism of fertility, the great womb, the portal of life, earth connection, and pre-Christian goddess or feminine spiritual links. Natural causes like candle smoke and age. Okay. They do mention this lady, but I will show y'all the Venus of Willendorf. They're mentioning these other places that adopted the great melanated mother. All right. They do, have incense to her with a lot of melanated spirituality systems. You give You have an altar where you put, herbs, roots, incense. You light candles. So you have the elements: earth, air, fire, water on the altar. You have libations, like you might have rum for like Urzuli, like for Louisiana and Haiti energies is rum. Rum Rum is the thing, all right, from that sugar cane, rum. Now, for the Mesoamerican, you have poke with the maguey plant, which tequila and mezcal is made from that. So, offerings with poke or tequila or mezcal. And then you can look into other feminine energies, what they're the things that they put on their altar to honor and respect that feminine energy. They also do wine too, red wine to be exact. The red represents life. It's the life force, life-giving energy. So, peace, Yati, Lashonda. Thank you for joining too. Appreciate you. Shona Bishchi. All right. I got so deep in there, I didn't even check the comments. I'm just now looking at the comments. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody tuning in. All right. So we do, I talked about the wine. So it's different things to pour libations that give honor and respect to the great mothers or the great feminine energies. All right. So now this is represents mystery. Okay, even in indigenous cultures, you hear about great spirit, but great mystery is talking about the feminine aspect. Great spirit is talking about the masculine aspect. So you have creator or creatress. It's always feminine and masculine. That's the great balance, right? So they talk about, it's about ancient earth mother. They try to say cults. Cults is just a short for culture. Okay. So in most aspects, don't be scared of that word. Now, there are some bad negative cults out there. Don't get it fucking twisted. But the ones that are honoring the great mother, that stands for justice, healing and feeding her people, teaching them, etc., survival. So we have the appearance, dark featured depictions of the Black Madonna or Mary and Christ. They have different depictions. You've seen those popes that bow down to the very dark, what you will call the misnomer Black Madonna. It looks like to the Christians the Black Virgin Mary, bowing down to her because she's the great mother, the great womb, the portal of life that birthed the nations, right? So, also, again, the Black Madonna and Mary and all of these great feminine figures, which are representations of the source of all things, represent, okay, the universal mother, fertility, even in other pantheons, even in the diaspora, you have Aset and Ma'at, things of that nature, right? So this blackness or this melaniness can symbolize mystery. It is an inclusion of all colors because everything comes from the melanated womb, the great mother, the earth mother, the divine feminine. All right. Let's see. They love to bring up these other ones. Of course, there were melanated people on all continents, right? So the great mother aspect is honored all over the world. it has been overshadowed by patriarchy, but some places and some peoples and places, they do honor the balance of the mother and the father energy. Okay, so we have that, the Black Madonna energy. Let's go back here. So these are just a lot of depictions of the Black Madonna. You see this, the mother and her child. And y'all can check out that Enigma Solver Chronicles playlist to check that out. I do go deep on the great feminine energy. So I'm going to show y'all this depiction of the Venus of Willendorf also. So the Venus of Willendorf is a depiction of a kinky-haired feminine energy with a pregnant stomach and a breast full of milk. Okay, so this is a depiction of the Great Mother also. And this goes back in time, just so y'all can see. And this is shown with respect. All right. Okay. It's dated to be at least 35,000 years ago. All right. So just to show y'all some different aspects of the feminine energy. All right. So let's go to Central and South America real quick and deal with the Virgin of Guadalupe, but who predates her is Tonatsun. All right, we're going to deal with her. And Kotaku, which predates her. They're basically the same thing. It's like a pantheon, different aspects of the mother. You always get the maiden, the mother, and the elder when dealing with the mother or the feminine energy. So we're going to go to her. All right, so we're going to visit her real quick. All right, Tonatzin was a revered Aztec Mother Earth goddess, meaning our revered mother, symbolizing fertility, life, and sustenance, associated with figures like Kotaku and Cihuatl. I probably butchered that, but Coatl is there. I know how to pronounce that. I do have some literature that breaks down the phonetic spelling of these words, how to pronounce them. All right. All right. So forgive me if I butchered the words. Forgive me, y'all. All right. So Tepeyac Hill, okay, where her shrine was later built over by the Virgin of Guadalupe. So in Mexico, her great mound and shrine was there. And then later, when the colonizers came in and forced Catholicism, they built the Church of the Virgin of Guadalupe over Tenatzin's, her domain, which predates her, is Kotaku. So they come in and they built shit over ancient, powerful sites. All right. And they try to usurp the energy. they try to usurp the energy. Today they using terms like destiny swap, etc. They try to usurp that powerful feminine energy, but they give you their depiction of what they want this new feminine energy to be. But we going back to the one that predates the Virgin Mary or the Virgin Guadalupe. All right. Tonantzin, our revered mother, symbolizing fertility, life, sustenance, associated with figures. I did read that. And I told y'all that they built the Virgin Guadalupe stuff over that when things were Christianized. All right. But Tonantzin, her Nuatu name translates to our revered mother, a title for a powerful female deity. She was the earth mother, like the earth. The earth basically provides things to feed us, and the creatress who created the earth, the creatress and creator, they gave us the earth. There are crops on the earth that feed us. Like I said, things that are medicinal and then things that are poisonous. You just have to choose wisely. All right. So, also associated with fertility is snakes. So, Kotaku is the snake woman, or the woman of the serpent skirt. All right, the powerful creatress and destroyer. So with these feminine energies, there is balance. So there's also, it's always either she's a creatress or she's a destroyer. She's a beloved woman, a beloved mother, or she is a warrioress. Choose wisely on which aspect you get. You're going to get the positive or you're going to get the negative. The warriors comes out when it's time to protect the other side. You got the other side, and then you have the sensual aspect of the feminine in the middle, kind of like, all right. So we have how they honor and respect her. A major temple. It was an earthen mound. They also had stone mounds that they call pyramids, but they mistakenly call them pyramids, but it's either earthen mound or a stone mound. They had a major temple dedicated to her on Tepeyac Hill in northern Mexico. So that is one of the biggest mounds. They have built that church of the Virgin of Guadalupe over her mound and her temple. Now, how these things are similar, syncretism, how they all come together, all these different signs and symbols, right? After the Spanish conquest, the Virgin Mary's apparitions on Tepeyac Hill, where her Tonantzin temple was, led many Nawal people to believe they were seeing Tonantzin or a manifestation of her. So in many, like I said, on all continents, some society, some city, some town, some state, they do honor the great matriarch. And she may be called something different in that tribal tongue. All right. But it is all talking about the great mother energy, the great feminine energy. Okay, so they go on to say, yes, how the Virgin of Guadalupe became a symbol that blended Catholic and indigenous beliefs, allowing spiritual traditions to continue under this new guise of Christianity, with some communities still referring to her as Tonantzin. These people that refer to her as Tonantzin, they lean more towards the indigenous aspects of the great mother energy. Okay. All right. So we touched on her. And I'm going to show a couple of images. There's some nice images. So this came later. This is the Virgin Guadalupe or the Virgin Mary. So we have the Black Madonna here. Then we have Kotaku, because Kotaku predates Tonatsin. All right. And this is a depiction of the great mother goddess, the Magwai plant, where you get mezcal, tequila, and pulque, which pulque is a sacred drink used for sacred inebriation, sacred inebriation or to pour libations. All right. So this deals with Mother Earth. So Tonatsin, and who predates her is Kotaku, Mother Earth. It's just the life-giving energy of the earth, how we have harvest, crops, food, which is provided. Each cycle, you have spring, summer, and then autumn. That's the last of the harvest. Then you have winter. That's when you go in the womb and you do some healing, etc. So you have the different cycles of life where things are gestating during winter, and then during the spring, things are birthed forth. All right. So you have these different cycles of life. It is mirrored throughout a lot of cultures and spirituality systems all over the world, honoring the Great Mother. So these are just depictions, and these are from my cards. These cards, if you have gotten or received a spirit astrology reading from me or a life path session, these are, I can deal with the Mesoamerican astrology along with different indigenous spirituality and culture. If you're new to my channel, you're going to get a Creole, Criollos, indigenous pot of gumbo over here. Okay? So I delve into various things based on things that are on my bloodline. And there are ancient stories that say different tribes came from people in Mesoamerica. Okay? So things that I do, it's a reason, it's a purpose. All right? So you have Kotaku and Mali Nali, which is the herb, which represents Mother Earth or the different sacred plants, where you get the different sacred drinks that are used for healing and honoring the energies. Okay. All right. This is the Black Madonna and her son. This is the Virgin Guadalupe. This is Selu, the great corn mother, the Urzulis of Haiti. And then this is like a depiction of the, this will be, some would view it as the Tamawak and the She with the helmet-like energy with the breast, and she has the baby. So in Mesoamerica, you had the mixed text. So I'm going to put this in a group with the mixed text. So a mixture of cultures in Central and South America. All right. So this is another depiction of the Great Mother and her child. Okay. So I've been on here 1 hour and 7 minutes. I'm about to close out. Let me see if there's anything else I did want to touch on before I close out. I appreciate y'all. If anybody in the chat has any comments or questions, now's the time to post them in the chat and we can discuss it and then we can close out. And I'm going to give y'all a couple moments. I'm going to show some depictions of Tonatsin, and then we're going to go to Kotaku, the Great Mother in Mesoamerica. And we're talking about the the deeply melanated depictions or images. Let me pull up my disclaimer too. I'm about to pull that shit up real quick like. I'm gonna pull up this disclaimer and then we can do the closing out. All right. And this is my copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. RRJXI tips, Ravenredtailhawk, Jaguarxi, which is she. This is the disclaimer. All right, pull that up because I don't need no bullshit. All right, we're gonna look at this real quick. Okay, so this is going into Tonatsin, and I do have some other books from this site, some PDFs about each of these different aspects of the feminine energies, giving honor and respect to them. All right, so Tonatsin means our sacred mother. Our sacred mother. In Nahuatl language, she continues to be connected symbolically to fertility and the earth. They say that it is not known precisely how the pre-Hispanic deity Tonantzin became connected to the Christian Virgin of Guadalupe. However, we can assume that many people of the time believed that her appearance represented a return of the Aztec mother deity. There's a Mayan aspect and then a Aztec aspect. So the Toltec basically kept a lot of this alive. And I do have some Toltec oracle cards. So those that want life path sessions or spirituality sessions. One is where I do your astrology based on indigenous cultures. And then the other one is a life path session where you get homework and some in-depth things. We discuss some things. So, but I do have some cards that have these images where the Toltec kept a lot of this information alive and well. And I do have my libations and my tequila. So I'm giving a shout out and honor and respect to the great matriarchs of the Americas and all over the world. IET, the diaspora, all of the places around the world that honor the great melanated mother. All right. So they just kind of like showed depictions of her. But I'm going to pull up Culture and then we can definitely close out. All right, let me pull up Culture, which predates the version of Guadalupe and Tenochtitlan, but they are like one in the same. A lot of these energies are similar. Let me pull her up. I appreciate y'all patience. This is my last one, and we can close out so y'all can enjoy the rest of y'all night, because I know I am. I was looking for this picture. Okay, so let me visit this real quick. We're gonna do a side note because I did cover Say Lou earlier. So this is a depiction of a sacred woman's society of the Gagas, the beloved women, the warrior women. And they are having ceremony. All right. And they have the sacred pipe where you do prayers and affirmations. A lot of healing things go on with herbs and roots, and basically for feminine needs, etc. So it's really good. It's really good honoring the great women, the matriarchs that have the best interests of the tribal nations, the societies, the communities. She wants the best for her people. She wants the best for her people. Let me turn this down. All right, let me pull this up. So, all right, let's go here. But this is just a depiction of, like, some might say a woman's lodge or a woman's society, beloved women, warrior women society. And this reminds me of the long hair clan of the Jaguarxi. So I'm going to pull that up. This is just a side note, which I did speak on Say Lou early on. Say Lou, the great corn mother, dealing with the Cherokee, the Jaguarxi, Aniawaya, Kitawagi, and the Chata with the great corn mother, and the Caddo Hadacho. I did speak on those earlier. So if you're just tuning in, I did give honor and respect to them first. All right. Thank y'all for your patience. So I'm pulling up the Woman's Society. Let me turn this down, because I don't need them saying shit about the music. Not one thing. All right, here we go. Okay, so this picture that I'm showing is a depiction of an ancient warrior woman society, which is Giga or Gilahi Giga. Giliv Guna Ata. So that's Galahi Giga, the ancient warrior woman society. And this is the long hair clan, the Wind clan, the Twister clan. It's the Ani Galohi, the beloved and warrior women, teachers, keepers of tradition. The women, the mothers, are the keepers of tradition. They can be peace chiefs. All right. They are also warrior women. Peace chiefs can come from this clan. They wore white feathers, women who decided the fate of the prisoners of war if they were to be unalived or adopted into the tribe. The adopted were absorbed into the tribe. They also used nuts and barks to cleanse the bodies of parasites with different herbs, roots, and barks. All right. They were also healers. And they did wear their hair long and have elaborate hairdos. So that previous picture that I showed you would be like them in council right here. Them in council. All right. So that's honoring the mothers, the feminine aspect. Now, I'm not going to get sidetracked, but let's finish. Go back to Culture. Oh, shit. All right, excuse me. All right, let's go. Okay, hey. You suspect. Let's see. All right, here we go. So this is honoring the matriarch, and then I'm gonna pull up Culture and we closing out. For real, y'all. Because I know people got shit to do. I got shit to do. So you can go back to the beginning and see everything that has been discussed to honor and respect the great matriarchs, the feminine energy from the Americas and the diaspora. Because if you're new to my channel, the people in the chat, all right, the people in the chat, I see you. Now, if you're new to my channel, you're going to get Creole, Criollos, Mestizo, indigenous spirituality and culture on my channel. So if you rock with that, cool. If you don't, get the fuck off my channel. Go find somebody else. I did put my disclaimer up, so I am within the guidelines of YouTube's rules. I am honoring the great matriarchs, especially the melanated matriarchs in the spirituality, culture, traditions of indigenous people on all of the continents, especially the Americas and the diaspora. All right. So let's go back to Culture. All right. So Culture in Mesoamerica. All right. This is another depiction of the Great Mother. Oh. Okay. Here we go. All right, here we go. Culture. All right. Another depiction of Mother Earth. All right. An earth goddess, Mother Earth, a symbol of the earth as both creatress and destroyer. So, as I stated earlier, the great matriarchs are the beloved women, but they are also war women, warrior women. And when it's that time, they destroy enemies. All right. So, if you're new to my channel, overstand, I got that Creole energy and that indigenous energy. My medicine is powerful. My ancestors are powerful. My spirit guides are powerful. So you don't want to fuck with it. You allowed one warning. One. All right. Okay, so Culture, she is the creatress and destroyer, mother of the gods and mortals. The dualism that she embodies is powerfully concretized or synchronized in her image. Her face is of two serpents, fanged serpents. Serpents represent fertility. All right. So, of course, the feminine, the female energy has the womb, the portal to life. So, you're going to hear about them representing fertility. All right. Snakes also represent DNA. It represents uh, shedding of one's skin, renewal, resurrection type of energy. All right. Her breasts are used to nourish. Her necklace is of hands, hearts, and skulls. Skulls represent the ancestors. Heart. You know what your heart represents. Hands. The mother do a lot of things with their hands. They teach and nurture. All right. They have mixed in here allegorical stories where she feeds. They're saying an aspect of an allegorical story that she feeds on these things, right? It's just talking about the circle of life. Birth, life, death, rebirth, resurrection, continuously, just like how people are buried in the earth from the womb to the tomb. All right. It's a recycle of life. All right. Just like people are buried within the earth, you also are eating food that was grown from the earth, like the corn, beans, and squash, the three sisters. So it is the cycle of life, right? So Culture, she is basically the mother of all, basically. Just like in the other spirituality systems that I covered tonight, the mother of all, right? And Tosi is the grandmother. She is the single manifestation of the earth goddess, a multifaceted being who also appears as a fearsome goddess of childbirth. The snake woman, like Culture, called Tanatsin, our mother. All right. The goddess of there's also, with everything that's good, there's a counterpart that's negative. So you can have sacred sexuality, or you can have something that is impure. There's always a positive or a negative in anything, just so y'all know. It's just a reminder. It's always a positive or a negative. So these are just some depictions of the great mother energies, the feminine aspects, the matriarch, because since we just had the winter solstice, and now we're up on Christmas Eve for those who are a part of Abrahamic religions. This is supposed to be the birth of the Christ energy, right? So this is why I am honoring the great mothers, because a lot of times the great mother, the feminine aspect, is overshadowed by patriarchy. And the great mother is the first teacher of all. She is the healer, she is the protector, she is the creatress, all these things that I broke down today. So I'm going to close out. We could also get into the pantheon that is in the diaspora with Eastern Ethiopia, because I did cover the Black Madonna. Eastern Ethiopia, Hindustan also, where you have the different aspects of the Great Mother. You always have the maiden, the mother, and the elder. And you have the different stages in between. So y'all can check out from Tara to Kali, those different feminine energies. Y'all can check out my Enigma Solver Chronicles playlist. I do go over some of those powerful feminine energies that are, in different spirituality systems. So y'all can check those out. Check out those playlists. All right. Check out those playlists. Check out the playlists. All right. Check out the playlist. And I just want to say, Wado Yokoki Shonabis. Thank you to everybody, even merci beaucoup. Gracias. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight and wanted to join me in giving honor to the great matriarchs, especially the great melanated matriarchs of the Americas and the diaspora, including IET, the Caribbean, the islands, all of that. Because if you look deep at the spirituality and culture of every continent, their spirituality systems, their depictions of the Great Mother is a melanated woman. All right. So this is giving honor to my Creole, Criollos, Mestizo, Melungeon, Redbone, indigenous roots. All right. This is giving honor to my ancestors' spirituality and culture, to honor the matriarchs, the females. So I'm gonna close out, y'all. Y'all have a good holiday, a good safe holiday. Enjoy your family, your loved ones, and continue to be those nurturers, protectors, those beloved women, those warrior women, and go forward. Till next time, peace. I love y'all. Peace.